Hi everyone, welcome to another podcast of Study Medic. So today we will be discussing the most sought after course, that is MBBS. Today we have Dr. Soumya, co-founder and chief mentor at Study Medic.
Hi,
Welcome
Nathan.
ma'am.
Hi.
MBBS is where it all starts, right? So what was the difference when you were studying as a first year student, right from the age of 17, right? So what was the difference then and how it is different now in this?
To be very honest, MBBS is one such stream which has always remained the same because we deal with human lives. So, of course, you will always have an updates about probably a newer drug or newer diseases which comes in. But the basic concepts of how the human body functions, or like from if you take anatomy, how it is placed, what is the blood supply, nerve supply, to physiology, how it works, and we go step by step. MBBS is put into a curriculum like that. The first year you will always talk about the normal things, and second year you start off with the pathology and all about the bacteria, viruses, and the drugs and the forensic part of it. Then you enter into the stream of clinical things like we start slowly, baby steps, probably the Ophthal, the ENT, and then community medicine, which is very important. Then you jump into the major subjects of medicine, OBG and surgery, pediatrics, which is nothing but amalgamation of all the 3 years what we have read. So I don't think over the years there's a lot of changes in what we have studied. Of course, there are updates which is, as a doctor, you are supposed to be knowing everything. But I think definitely there are a lot of ways in which the people study, the students study, and what they are focusing in is entirely different from what we did. Of course, we had our own luxuries, at the same time we had our own difficulties. But I think over the year, with every generation, passing generation, it has been made easier so that they would become the best of to their capabilities.
Yes, thank you. So I just want to ask you one question. So when you come into a first year as a MBBS grad or the first year student, so what is it is like anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry in the first year, 2 semesters, right? So and that forms the basis of what you
Yeah,
have to go through in the later phases of the MBBS. So it is, I think, it is very imperative to have a strong knowledge in all this,
yes,
and it is not something you have studied in the past as well.
correct,
It is entirely new. So we
correct,
don't study physiology or biochemistry in our pre MBBS era, like in the plus two or the
correct.
pre degree when you were studying, right? So I think it is very imperative that you should have a strong foundation so that you can excel in the later year. Otherwise it will be very overwhelming, right? So
Correct.
what were the struggles in those first years for a first year MBBS student? What will be your advice?
See, the first of all, when you move from your plus two, so obviously, like I did from a government medical college, so you're considered as the top cream of your society. So when you enter the first year, the volume is what shakes you because you need to know everything, you need to remember everything, and the cadaveric dissections. Okay, that's actually like in the beginning, first to tolerate that formalin smell takes a lot of time for us because these bodies are kept in the formalin, they are dried and they are kept for our own cadaveric dissection. But that is one of the very important step for us to understand the human anatomy because all these great souls, they have their families have given the bodies so that we could practice on them. So in the beginning, obviously you will be little weird to see the human body and you get that that philosophical thing, life is all about this, so and you start learning the anatomy every day with the dissection. You have to dissect each of the nerve, organ, and the blood supply, how it goes, how it travels. It doesn't end there because it is just a part of your anatomy. Then you have to remember, we all used to sleep with all the bones. If you ask anybody the first year MBBS, because the skull will be there, the femur bone will be there just beside your bed, because that's how much you have to revise. And when you come to physiology, it's again a huge thing for us to understand. And biochemistry is very dry. And for the first year, if you don't pass all the subjects, majority of the universities, you cannot move to the second year. So right now, probably when we were studying, we didn't have this animation videos. You have a real thing in your view which is not working, but probably you have to imagine how the heart works, how the chambers are placed. Unlike now, where you have the technology has progressed so much, the AI can create the realistic things. So the kids can know better how it actually dynamically works. Okay, so once in the first year, it is very important to hold on to the thing that, okay, you will be able to do it, because it's voluminous and you don't remember things, because our first internal assessment is very pathetic, because all these years you would have got 20 out of 20, but when you come there, you are struggling to pass because of them. Even though you have a good memory, you need to get into that flow of understanding things, and it is not about by hearting, because you have to apply things. So that transition takes itself a sweet time. But I think when we were there, we used to sit in the libraries, make huge notes and revise and discuss, and probably everybody had a different ideas. Back then we didn't have a lot of YouTubes or a lot of animated videos. That's all has come probably couple of years now. So like all this VR, AR, all that is now. But so like we used to literally sit around and discuss and understand and remember what to write for a long essay, what to write for a short essay, and what is its clinical importance. So we used to discuss a lot, and that's how we have grown. But when you come to now, everything is on the platter. Okay, so like for example, if you take our study MBBS, you have got all the summaries, all the SAQs, LAQs, you have got all the animated videos, the concept, you have to just click on the video and understand. You have to just click on the podcast and to listen. So these different audiovisual formats have made the students' life very easy, because it is something which they get an understanding. Obviously, there are different way of learning things. There are a lot of people who just want to read, understand by themselves and go on. That percentage is very less. Because of this audiovisual formats, the concepts are imprinted in their mind. So it makes their life easier rather than you sitting and imagining, right? So that's what I think the change has come in, and it's a good change, I must say. But I always feel they have to go back and read the textbooks along with whatever they have got, because finally by the end of the day, when you come to, it all replicates to when you come to the final year, when you come to the internship, if a patient comes with a cough and a cold, you are supposed to be understanding to the basics why this person, whether it is serious, whether it is a simple cough and cold. And when you write an 8 PG exam, all these things comes there. So I think the basics, the building block should be stronger enough, work around the concept, so which makes you a better doctor for sure. If your concepts are stronger, you would always win in the life of a doctor. That's what I would say.
So when you come to MBBS tuition, whether it's first year, second year, third year, so there are a lot of players in the market. What makes studying MBBS different from the rest of them? Why should an MBBS grad or MBBS aspirant should take our course?
See, to be very honest, I was always with the feeling, because we come from a very traditional way of learning things. For us, our professors, whatever they taught, the library, the bigger books, like probably you can take Genong, Guyton, or the greater authors has taught us more than what we could learn otherwise. But over the years, of course, change is constant. So when people started approaching us for, why don't you start the MBBS? Then I looked at, because of course I did from a government medical college, I had all the pleasures or the opportunities are the blessings to be working under greater personalities and to learn things. But it is when you look into globally, if you look into the countries where Uzbekistan, China, Russia, even India, there are a lot of globally, the MBBS curriculum is not the same. If you look into the Uganda, the curriculum is different. If you look into the Uzbekistan, the things are different. But finally, we are supposed to be treated by them one fine day, either the ways, right? So there are concepts which are not imprinted into the students' minds. If you see, as you mentioned, there are a lot of competitors who have been trying to teach the kids MBBS. But the point is, everybody is trying to help them to pass the exams and to a greater extent to get a seat in NEET PG and get their dream specialty. So that's where my thought came up into the mind. And when we discussed with the team and the students alike, they were all like, okay, we are happy to get a lot of things to write and finish the exam. Because when you are a student, you want to finish the exam. You are not bothered what happens next, and you are at that tender age. And to be very honest, I think MBBS is the only field where we sacrifice our youth. We don't know about what others do. We only know to study, give exams, attend clinicals. So all our 4.5 to 5 years goes in this. When you compare, because I remember very well when my friends who did engineering and all other streams, they were all enjoying their all other things. But for us, it's only studies. So how can you make them these studies enjoyable and plus give their time for something else as well. So I think the whole idea was born to give them a conceptualized ones. Okay, if you know, in India it is completely CBME curriculums, and they have got something called an EdCom modules, which are very good, like for ethics and communication. So there are a lot of inclusions which the NMC is trying to make the MBBS very, very structured and probably more towards the learning outcomes. But down the lane somewhere it has become a paper exercise, because everybody, for example, even the professors, they have got a lot of paperwork to do. Okay, they have to make sure that the kids learn this by the end of the thing. So it's actually done in a very good intention, but for the students and the professors alike, it has become a little difficult to impart the knowledge what we used to get without all these things. So the Steady MBBS concept is to make sure that we are aligned with the CBME curriculum and as well as the global curriculums. And second thing is to give more importance to the concepts and to help them, of course, to help them to answer the questions whatever they get, plus prepare them for the future. It is not only that if you are reading your first year MBBS, so if you are reading your anatomy, you should be thinking where I can apply this knowledge and how this question can come as a NEET PG. Because everybody for the NEET PG, they start preparing probably from the internship onwards, because fourth year is very hectic with all the mega subjects. So what we have tried, we have done a smaller efforts to include these things from day one. So it goes along with the flow of learning a thing. And why I should learn this? Okay, this is because not only for this question, but this, if a patient comes with this and this would be useful. So that clinical implication is what I have always focused at. And we have got a very good reviews as well, that this was more useful for them to, when they attend the clinicals. Because first year is always they are sitting in a lecture hall and they're looking into the professors and probably cadavers. And many of the global universities, they don't have a cadaveric dissections. How do these kids learn the anatomy? So when they jump from paraclinical to clinical, it's a huge transition. You don't know what to do. When a patient, you are even observing, you are like, my God, how do we go about this? Because those are the burnout areas for the doctors once they join, and once they join the clinicals, and once they start the internship, after the internship. Those are the peak burnout points, because you have your seniors only to guide. So, but if you don't get a good seniors, you are clueless. So that's where we wanted to pitch in. It is not only to give you the academic orientation, but also to handhold you clinically and to handhold you at your burning points and probably burnout points and your turning points, to help you to think what next. So I think it's a holistic approach of Steady MBBS to handhold you and to help you to become whatever you want to. It's not necessary that everybody has to choose the clinical topics, but probably you want to get into biochemistry, or probably you want to be a pathologist, you want to get into the research. So that is where we get into hand-holding of what they can do. So I think that counseling part is very important, because we have got a lot of mental health modules included in our Steady MBBS, because that's default. Because when you join a hostel, it's not easy, right? The smallest of the points we have considered, thinking of my own journey, how it was, and probably others also, like some of the students, whatever they wanted, like importance of attendance, every single thing. So those things are also included in the Steady MBBS thing, so that, when you go through, you are like talking to a friend through an LMS. That's what we have done.
So it is one thing to just pass for the sake of passing, and it is another thing to have the conceptual clarity, so that it can be useful to prepare you as a doctor. So I think what Study Medic does is that, right? So we will be hand-holding them with the mentors, strength that we have, as well as the clinical scenarios, and we are preparing for them to become a best doctor or the best version of themselves. So that is, I think, what makes Study MBBS different from the rest of the competitors, as we say, or the rest of the market that we have. So to summarize, so if I am an MBBS student struggling in the first year, so what will be your advice for me as a person? I don't have access to this any of them right now.
Yes.
If I'm struggling, I'm thinking about quitting MBBS. So this is not for me, or I was an excellent student till now, but I'm struggling real time right now. So this will be actually a shock for them as well,
Yeah,
because now all those around them will be like, it will be okay, tumse ho payega,
yeah,
yeah, it will, you are good, you are best, but inside me I don't have anyone to talk to about my situation.
Correct.
Because all around me, all the peers around me, they are also excellent students, they are able to cope with the stress, but I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to speak
Correct.
my mentality to my family, not to my friends, because they won't understand, right?
Correct.
So what can be done in that?
See, to be very honest, whoever joins the MBBS in the first few weeks, we want to run away. That's how it is, because it's very voluminous and you don't know where you are struggling, and everybody's in the same page. But I would still say that hold on, because when the first internal assessment you give, that hits very hard, because your marks is going to sit in front of your face, and you have never got such low marks. So you are going to and along with that, if you are not a day scholar, you have to stay in the hostels. There's a lot of challenges. You are also very young at that age. You don't know what is happening. The food, everything is very different than what you expected. But I would still say what we did was to hold on. It's okay, let's see probably what we can do. So probably you need to speak to the mentors, you need to speak to your peer groups, be open, tell your challenges, discuss, and it's okay to get a lesser mark. In MBBS, unlike all other things where you don't want to run behind the marks, you have to understand the concept, you have to clear the exams. Okay, so probably you need to give a sufficient time, fair time for you to adopt. Okay, and just believe in yourself that this can be done. If all of us have done, you will be able to do it. And right now, there's a lot of, all the medical colleges have got a lot of provisions. There's a lot of mentor-mentee interaction which happens, because that's a must in NMC curriculum. If you take in India, in all over the places they have made MBBS very, very nice by helping the students to adopt well. Because first 15 days they have an induction classes, then there is a like each group they have a lot of different mentors. Only thing is you have to open up to one person at least whom you think you can. Okay, so obviously we do give a lot of counseling, lot of burnout like probably suggestions. They can get in touch with us as well. So but if you feel that you cannot talk to your own mentors or your own people, or you think that you would be judged, they can always get in touch with us. We would be able to give them a overall picture of what is happening, because when you are suffering, you are zoomed into that. So probably you need a third eye to tell, no, this is not the thing. What you're feeling is correct, but probably this could help you better. The smaller tweaks would able to help, and this feeling is very common. We all get this, because it's very, very heavy at times. It's very brutal at times. So obviously you are going to you are answerable to a lot of people, to your family. So, and you have a lot of peer pressure, as you mentioned, because you have always been the best and now you are struggling to finish off the subjects, and you don't remember a lot of things when you come to the first year MBBS, because it's a huge transition of what you have read. But I think over the period we all get gel very well. We know what, like probably after the second internal assessment you are done. Okay, this is what it is all about. You have to read, you have to revise, you have to discuss, and you have to move on. But yes, help is always available. You have to look out for the help. And quitting MBBS is really not a good idea, because probably the reason, the passion why you chose the MBBS, you have to stick on to, and definitely you will make something good out of yourself.
With the launch of Study MBBS, Study Medic has become the mentor for a medical student. So let's see, from MBBS first year to fourth year, we have Study MBBS tuition as a tuition or a mentor as a guide. So once you finish even the MBBS, then if you want to move abroad, then we will have the PLAB or the USMLE or the AMC coachings as well. If you want to continue in India, we'll have the clinical programs like for MRCOG, where you will be placed in a hospital and they'll be getting the guidance. So for the MBBS students, we have this 4-year MBBS tuition. So then after that, we'll be having, if you want to move abroad, then we'll be having the USMLE PLAB coachings as well. If you want to study or if you want to have an practice in India, then we'll have the clinical programs for the students. Even after that, if you want to take after MD, if you want to take MRCOG or MRCPCH, MRCM, we'll have the Royal College examinations as well. So how do you feel about being this mentor for the upcoming MBBS graduates?
See, I would say this was a very natural process. Obviously, people start from MBBS upwards, and we have gone from super specialization to we are coming to the basics. So that's purely because whatever we have developed is purely because of the demand what we have been asked, and people have actually asked us. Because see, most of my students of MRCUG, they have their kids studying MBBS, or they are doing AMC, or they are doing PLAB, or they are doing MLE. So it was a very natural, organic process which helped us to develop all this from basics to specialties. Okay, so I think it was, I would say, we would have come to this either otherwise also, because when you make the building block stronger, okay, so obviously there's a continuation, right? So probably you are happy with one mentoring, the same process goes into your specializations, super specializations, and wherever you want to be placed also we are trying to help. So it becomes like a family thing where we are helping generations across, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the region they belong to. So I think it was a very organic process, and we knew that this is going to come up. But like we had a lot on our plates, because we have got around 40 streams now, and we have got nursing, allied, everything we are opening up, purely because probably the trust what people have got in us, and the quality of what we are providing them, and the difference what we are making. I think that is why this was very natural, and I'm glad that we are into MBBS.
Okay, so any final advice for the upcoming young medical graduates, the MBBS students?
So I would just say that you are here, you chose MBBS, which is a very, very, very bold decision, because it's not easy to choose MBBS and stay there, because we, as I mentioned before, we sacrifice a lot, many years for studies, for our passion, and it doesn't end there. And it's a continuous, lifelong update which we need to keep on doing till you die. So it is not that, okay, you have finished PG, super specialization, you are done. It is a lifelong process. Every patient teaches us a new things. Every counseling helps us to become a better version, and every new skill. You have to be updated with the new medicine, new skill. If you are a surgeon, you have to rework on yourself till you become the best with that particular skill. So you have taken a very good decision. Stick to it and make sure that you work for the concepts and the global holistic view of treating a patient. And I think world needs better doctors, world needs people who can help the patients with a lot of compassion, empathy and sympathy. And I think we are right there, because all the doctors generally are very genuine, very compassionate, very empathetic, because that's how our system gets built in once you start MBBS. So all the best to everyone. I'm sure you can become whatever you think of. Thank you.